welcome to Geekonomics. We are back. It's another week, it's another show. Marc and Bryon here to talk all things going on in the world of nerddom. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We had the Mando trailer drop last night during football, which Bryon did not watch because Bryon didn't watch anything when it happens. So we have to wait for him to watch that today during the show.
Oh, well, I didn't even know it dropped last night.
I messaged everybody in the group chat. I don't want to hear.
What time was it? What time was it?
Like 8:30.
I was in bed.
You're an old man.
I was tired.
Grandpa was already in bed. Couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
We also had Last of Us debuted on Sunday. We'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
Whew. It's going to be a tough one. I don't know if I'm going to get through it all, but we'll see how it goes. We'll talk about that. Bryon has played all the games. I've never seen anything about it, so I know nothing going in except minor like pop culture things that everyone knows about. So we'll talk about that, and then we're going to wrap the show up with our in-depth review of season 1. Could it be the only season? We don't know. We'll find out. It's Willow. We're going to talk about that later on, so we'll have all that to talk about. But first, as always, we'll go through what's been going on with us and how's things with you, Bryon.
Going well, Mark. It's been a very eventful couple days. We went to our friend Scott Pellin, who does the East of the River comic book and toy show twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year. It was his 60th birthday, so we went to his surprise 60th birthday on Saturday.
Yeah.
And also we want to remind everybody the next show will be the last Sunday of February.
It will be. The flyer is already in the end of the show.
Okay. So we're hoping things will turn around and it will be a better show than we had in October.
It wasn't a bad show. It just be more attended, hopefully. We get more people there.
It was a bad show.
It was a good show. Their stuff there was good. It was just...
That's not... You know what I mean when I say bad show.
I know, but I like calling things bad shows. Not bad shows. They're just lowly attended.
Which is a bad
show. Isn't bad. It's just...
Actually, I don't even know why we call it a show, because we're not putting on... We're not entertaining people.
No, but I mean, that's what it's called.
I know, but it's a weird... Show. It's a weird thing to call it a show. Because
what else would you call it? Comic book and collectible sale?
Yeah, a sale, an event.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue as well as a show.
A market? You know, market makes more sense.
Yeah, comic market? You can call it.
You don't say a farmer's show. Market. I'm putting on a farmer's show, you know?
No, I think it's just the way it's always a comic show.
I know.
Card show. It's
right.
The thing.
It's just weird how we call it that. That's all.
One of those weird, fun English things that someone's just started calling it that, and everyone calls it that, and
it's stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like farmer's market is not really a market. I mean, it's just...
Well, no, that's the definition of a market.
I mean, no one's walking around with
show.
No one's walking around with a basket, you know, like filling up their basket. And
that's what they used to do, Mark. A show would be that when people walked in, we're entertaining them. We're like, "Hey, look at me!" And you're telling jokes.
If you go to your booth, you are entertaining them. You know, you do a song and dance and everything.
Yeah, none of us are doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. You take the word back, Bryon. You call it. Tell Scott you're changing the name of the show to the East of the River Comics and Collectibles Market.
Right.
That rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
that looks good on a poster.
I know, right?
Come on down to the comic market.
I'm just saying it's a weird thing. You think about it, it's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, happy birthday to Scott Pellin. He turned 60.
Happy birthday to Scott after all that. By the time he's now 65 after all that diatribe.
And that was a great little brewery we went to in Portland, Connecticut.
Yeah, Concentric was the name of it.
And the beer was great. They
allowed cupcakes and cake.
So yeah,
bonus.
It blew away whatever shithole we went to.
BBC.
Yeah, that place.
Yeah.
But
BBC,
man,
whatever it's called.
This place was really good. I did have one drink. I had the cider. The cake was amazing. The wings, I love the wings.
Yeah, the cake did not come from the brewery.
No,
outside, but
they allowed outside food.
They did. So
very generous.
Not a rule that you can't have.
Doesn't it make you question? Like, The fact
It didn't
that
make me question. I knew what the rule was. I've been in restaurants before. It's not like it's the first restaurant I've ever been inside of.
I know, me too. I used to work in one.
I know.
It was like they just made it up
They just don't
because
want to deal with people. They just want to deal with things.
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. They
Um
weren't the clientele they were looking for.
no, where did we go? Matt Ryan. We were hanging out with Matt Ryan. And
House
we
of Books and Games in Windsor.
yes.
That's what you're looking. That's what you're trying to think of.
Yes.
Small little mom and pop shop. They have used books.
In game, a lot of games.
And books and regular books, like new books. And they also have new and old board games.
Right.
A plethora of Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
And prices were good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a set of Chess X dice for like $4, which is like unheard of. Brand new dice in like the case and everything. To which Claire's response when I got home was, "Why do you need more dice? How much dice do you need to play one game?"
Right.
Like, you never have enough dice.
I have enough. I'm diced out. But I did buy Batman dice.
Yes, you did. But that was like, weren't like, they're like an actual game you can play.
Right.
You're never gonna open anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, it just goes in my Batman collection.
Yes.
And then I got Howard the Duck on DVD for $1.
Hot dang.
That was a good
But
deal.
also was thrilled for that.
I said, look, she's just like, oh, cool. Howard the Duck.
Nice. Cool.
And I was like, I know. You want to see duck boobs?
It's always, I find it hilarious. I say it to Claire all the time when she like says stuff like that. I'm like, when you say cool, I know it's not, you're really saying it's cool. You're just saying it like, cool, hon, nice. I'm happy you're happy.
Right. Well, that's what marriage is all about.
Yeah. Whatever keeps you from annoying me.
If you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah. You're gonna go upstairs and it makes you happy for 20 minutes and I don't have to listen to you talk. That's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Sold. But yeah, we had a great time.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, and I did.
You did.
It was a good time. The whole day we got to hang out and randomly go to that place on the way home, and
Yeah. It was a spur of the moment thing. We're just kind of like talking about different things. All of a sudden that came up. We're like, let's go. It's gonna close soon. So we party. Scott left him at his party.
Well, a lot of people were leaving at that.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was a good reason to get out of there.
Yeah. But what else, Marcus? I'm in the middle of season 1 of Buffy, and I am enjoying it. I do enjoy it. Angel has made his presence, and I think he's like a boring character. I could care less about him.
He doesn't get much more entertaining.
Yeah, but I do like Xander. I do like I like all the surrounding classmates. It's campy, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I started back up a show I kind of dropped off just because it was the holidays. I'm in the middle of season 2 where I left off as the Orville.
Yes.
Once I started getting back into it, man, I'm like, oh, I missed the show so much. And of course, I watched the one episode. One of my favorite characters left. She leaves. I don't want to spoil it for anybody because it's kind of a newer show, but someone does leave, and I was like, no, she's my favorite. But the replacement's very funny, and it's played by Putty himself from Seinfeld and Family Guy. I can't think of his name now.
Warburton.
Yeah, Warburton. Patrick Warburton. A very humorous character comes in. So I'm happy to be back into the old Orville. Chainsaw Head is plugging along. It's bonkers it's really bonkers. I love it. A new cartoon on Hulu, Koala Man. I started watching. I really enjoy it. It's an Australian show. Cartoon.
I assume it's a koala, so that makes
he's this guy who's a family man, but he thinks he's a superhero koala man. It's fun. It's a fun show.
Right.
And then we'll save The Last of Us. We'll talk about together, but I'm gonna put a pin in that. And Mark, have you watched or done anything before we get into that?
I really haven't. It's just been nursing Claire back to health. A lot of that. A lot of just making sure she's comfy and cozy and laid up right now. She's sit at home at the house. She's got the walking boot, so she's able to get around a little bit more now. So that's good. Just been doing a lot of that stuff. Just not really watching anything in particular. Kind of just hanging out with her and watching whatever she wants to watch. A lot of murder shows and a lot of Food Network.
We did watch a murder show. Well, it was a documentary on Peacock, and I don't know if she watched this or not. Now I have to see. It was like Moira something or other.
Tierney?
Huh?
Moira Tierney?
Yeah. Did she see that one?
I think so. She mentioned something about Moira Tierney. No,
Yeah.
she watched the She Said.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I guess it was all right. I didn't watch it with her. She watched it. But she also watched Dope Sick, and she said that was amazing.
Yeah, that got nominated
Michael
for a
Keaton.
lot of Michael Keaton, yeah. But anyway, we watched that. It's close to home. This girl goes missing, and she's actually in Massachusetts. It's really good. We watched the whole thing. It's like 6 episodes. It's really fascinating. It's a good one. Allison got into watching it and she stopped and she's like, Brian, let's watch from the beginning. You have to see this. So we did check that out over the week. So before we get into the Mando trailer and Willow season 1 review,
Yes.
the Last of Us episode 1 dropped on Sunday night. I was so freaking hyped. I convinced Alice and I said, listen, I know you like watching things when it's all out. I go, but I'm very excited for this.
Yeah.
I need to watch this week to week.
Yes.
And I convinced her. She's like, okay, I will watch it with you. So this is why I went to bed early. I didn't realize the first episode was going to be an hour and a half.
I didn't either.
So
I watched it yesterday.
Yeah, we didn't start watching it until 9:30.
Ooh.
So it was almost 11.
Yeah.
It was 9:30, 10:30. It was like 11-ish when we stopped. Then on top of that, like I don't think we went to bed till almost midnight, which is very, time you get up, you brush your teeth, you get ready. You gotta get
all the things,
all the things you gotta do.
Take your dentures out, put them in the cup next to the bed. A lot of things.
Yeah. I take my wig off. I
you gotta
steam it. I take my beard off. I have to steam it. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Process.
We were both wiped on Monday, and we got in bed at 8:00. So
with the since you watched it, I'm assuming that since the night it aired, you watched it on HBO, or on HBO Max.
I have HBO Max.
Okay. Did you say through the whole thing and watch after the credits?
Oh yeah. I like because HBO does that. Like Game of Thrones did it. A lot of their popular shows do like a little bit behind the scenes. And I actually
like a podcast they're doing alongside it.
Yeah, Troy Baker's hosting a podcast who does the voice of Joel in the game. I'm probably going to start listening to that because I listen to a lot of the Last of Us podcasts when they release part 2, and I listen to all the podcasts. So I will jump into that. Yeah. I was very excited, very nervous, didn't know what to expect. I was very happily surprised about the performances. Everything I thought was so well done. And this game has always lent itself to being a show in my eyes. But they did a fantastic job. No real complaints. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I knew spoilers. I knew when Sarah was going to die, and Allison.
I kind of assumed that she was because she's not in any of the ads or anything for the show.
Well,
I figured she wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, when she gets shot, Allison goes, "Is she going to die?" And I'm all like choked up. And I'm like, "Yeah."
So here's my question for you, since you played the game. What parts of the show were like gameplay and which were like cutscenes?
It's a hard question to answer because Naughty Dog games have always pushed the boundary between cutscene and gameplay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in their games, you think it's a cutscene and you're like, how come no one's moving? Oh, I have to do something.
Yeah.
They've done it with the Uncharted series and the Last of Us series. They've always pushed the boundary and really, like, the scene when they're in the car and they're driving to get into the city.
Yeah. Or out of the city.
Yeah. You're moving the camera around to see what's happening. You can see everything that's going around.
Yeah.
And then like
that
all
was
that
video game-esque, that scene.
It was ripped right from the game. They were dialogue ripped right from the game, scenes ripped right from the game. Like it was pretty amazing because, like I said, the game is very cinematic, so it lends itself very easily to the small screen or big screen or whatever. But
now, how far into the game does the first episode end at? Like, how much of the game is that part? Which I assume would not be much because it seemed like that was a lot of like intro stuff.
Yeah, before you meet Bill, that is like maybe. I mean, they added a lot of stuff that's not in the game. They fleshed out some stuff. There was no neighbors. There was no people in the beginning talking about this virus. There was no Sarah.
Which was awesome to see the guy from Hell on Wheels.
Yes, the Swede.
Playing the doctor. It's a Swede.
Yeah, the Swede. We recognize his voice.
Yeah.
There was no neighbors. That whole scene was basically Sarah was at home in the game. She's sleeping. The phone rings. It's Bill. It's not Bill. I'm sorry. It's the brother.
Tommy.
Tommy's calling saying, "Get your dad on the phone. Something's going down."
Yeah.
And then she goes to wake up her dad. In this, it was like he leaves because he gets in the hoosegow because he's an idiot. Yeah. And then they don't come back until like 2 a.m. So they really changed and fleshed out some stuff, which is great because you don't want it to be exactly the same. So it keeps the people like me on my toes.
Yeah.
But for people who are new to it, it's all new. But yeah, I mean, in the game, you're maybe only a half hour in.
Yeah. It seemed like it was like, because there's the scene where they break through the fence and everything. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be the end of the episode because this is a natural cut scene point or some kind of cut point where you would get that cinematic, that shows the city all torn down and destroyed.
Yeah, and they're gonna go look for Bill and what's his name? Well, no, they're going to look for Bill, who's played from Park and Rec. Why can't I think of his name? Offerman. Yes. He perfect casting on their part. So his character is really cool. They're gonna flesh out his character because
Offerman the guy that's running the tower then?
We saw the guy. Well, yes, he's running the other tower.
Okay.
The tower.
You're talking about a character that hasn't been mentioned or named yet, so that's why it's throwing.
No, they had. They said we're gonna go. We have to go find Bill.
No, they said you got to go to this tower and meet up with our people, and then they'll hook you up with stuff to go find Tommy. They never say his name.
Oh, I swear to God, they did. So it might have been me.
Because you play the game, so you have information that you're infusing into the show.
Maybe, but I'm pretty sure they said
no.
Bill.
What's her name? The girl who actually played the character in the game, I guess.
Yep.
The leader of the Fireflies of that said, no, you got to go take them to the old state house, meet up with our people, and they will hook you up with a vehicle to go find Tommy. They never want to say the guy's name or anything, and they just showed him in the coming shows trailer.
Maybe that's where I
might have mentioned his name in that, but I don't catch it. I just saw it was Offerman.
Fair enough.
So,
but yeah, it should be really good. Like I thought, like the world they showed was awesome. I thought like casting was great, but I mean, I was very impressed by the look, the feel, like
Yeah.
the way they did everything. Pedro Pascal is amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's a very fun dynamic we're gonna have for the next month until Mando comes out.
Yeah, Mando. When does
He's been internet's favorite dad in Mando. Now he's gonna be without seeing his face. Now you get to see his face in this.
right?
And knowing how I know the first game ends, it's gonna be a very difficult end of season, I believe. If they keep in line with the games.
I don't know. They might change it. They might not. I kind of feel like they will keep it, but things might be changed a little bit.
That's a big thing in the game that you kind of need. I don't think you could change that.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be the same, but I feel like some of the players might.
I just don't think the first season's gonna cover the whole first game because there's not that many games to pull from, so you can't like.
Oh, I have a feeling it's going to cover.
They stretched out this hour and a half into the first half hour of the game. You have a lot of stuff to cover.
But they're adding characters. They're adding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can
stuff.
easily push this to another season with him in it.
My opinion is they're going to cover the first game in the first 9 episodes here.
Yeah, or cliffhanger at the end of this season.
I think the part 2 of The Last of Us is so dense and there's so much in it that itself could be 2 seasons. It is the first game is a simple story. It's a point A to point B story. They're fleshing the world building out on the show, but I think part 2, the game, they flesh out a lot and they introduce a lot of new characters.
Yeah.
And there's actually 2 stories happening in tandem.
Gotcha.
So I kind of feel like season 2 and 3, if we were to go that far, could be all of part 2 because there's just so much. There's so much in that game. And
they can also stretch this out because they do have another. I'm assuming there's a 3rd game in the works.
They are it was going to be a 3-parter. So
yeah. So
but I think season 1 is going to end the way the game. I feel like it's going to end that way. I think we're going to get the whole story because there's really no reason to go that much further because these episodes could range between an hour and 20.
Yeah.
We don't know. But yeah, I was thoroughly happy. I mean, for me, I can't wait to see where this goes. And yeah, it's gonna be one of the shows I'll be watching week to week.
Yeah.
And
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, come to find out, Vox Machina comes back this Friday.
It does. I knew that. Was it. But for somebody who's never played the game and doesn't know anything about anything, I mean, like I said, I know like the general story from you guys and just talking and hearing you guys talk about the game. It's really well done, really well put together. It seems like a interesting take on zombies.
Yeah, it's a different take.
So trying to change it up so it's not the same old same.
They'll never say the word zombie.
Because they're not.
They're clicker. They call them clickers later on, but it's a fungi. So it's like the ant. They're using that a real thing, the ant thing.
Yes.
And using it on humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And doing that little scene they put into the show, which isn't in the game. I'm assuming that little old TV show clip thing really helped explain it and make it like make sense.
Right.
It's like them saying like these aren't going to be zombies. These are going to be like people are infected by a virus, like a fungus, and that's
exactly.
Which is helpful because if you don't, you would just assume zombies.
Right. And
like zombies, and they kind of do the zombie thing. So
yeah, I mean when he's being
around
chased,
like zombies.
it was pretty cool. And then when you see that one guy who's just like in the wall and all the stuff surrounding him,
all the fungus is on everything.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of grotesque. I mean, you'll see heads and limbs coming out of the walls but it's like as they're learning, the characters are learning about how these things work, the audience is learning through them. Because they're just as clueless as you are. In the game, you're learning as you go along.
Exactly. Yeah.
So very well done.
Yeah.
So Pedro Pascal's next, like you said, his next
Yeah.
daddy role.
Yes.
So
His father figure role is
Mando trailer dropped
last night during
and
the football game. Yeah.
no, did they make an announcement this was happening?
They did early in the day.
Oh,
Their Star Wars social media released it saying tonight during this football game at halftime, we're dropping the trailer for season 3. Kind of like they did last week
for Ant-Man, right?
with Ant-Man. They did it like during the day that Marvel dropped the thing on social media that there was going to be the final trailer for Ant-Man was going to debut during the college football championship.
Yeah, I had
Extremely painful for people because that game was god awful. And the nerddom was like straight stressing out. Like, can we just like call this and just show us the trailer so we could stop having to watch this terrible football game?
And didn't they show it near the end of the game during that?
They showed
one?
it during halftime. They usually do
Oh.
it during halftime. It's the way to get people to watch the game because your ratings go usually off of the first half. Like, have people tune in, and then like you can boost up your numbers, and then they all disappear in the second half, and no one cares.
Right.
You can say, hey, this game was really well watched. We get all these non-usual football watchers to watch this game.
Right.
So.
All right. I have it fired up. I'm going to watch it right now.
Okay.
We'll
I've
be
watched
right.
it 3 times, so I know exactly what you're seeing.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
So there's definitely like going off of the math on how this is going to work. I think we're going to get a month of 2 Pedro Pascal shows on at the same time.
Yeah, The Last of Us will be ending in March.
Yeah. So I think there'll be like at least a couple episodes with an overlap.
Yeah, because this is starting March 1st.
Yeah. So.
Whew. Man. Jedi? We're getting some Jedi.
I don't know if it's Jedi, if it's a flashback to.
It doesn't matter. We're still
Jedi.
getting.
I think we're gonna get what happened or how Grogu got out. I think that's what that's showing. Because we know he was there. We don't know how he got out though. And who got him out.
Right.
So that could be part of the story.
Well,
I'm trying to remember because I don't remember anything I don't remember any before them telling us how he actually got out.
No, Book of Boba Fett. Remember? He knows he goes back with Mando in the Book of Boba Fett.
No, I'm saying how he got out of the Jedi Temple when the attack happened. Order 66 happened.
Who?
No, he was there. Grogu.
What are you talking about?
Grogu was in the Jedi Temple when Order 66 happened.
I don't remember that in Book of Boba Fett at all.
Yes. It's not from Book of Boba Fett. I think it was in last season of Mando when he was at when he takes him to the when we first see Boba Fett in the Boba Fett suit for the first time since the movie.
He brings him to the temple because he's calling on.
No, he brings him to the when he brings him to that temple.
Yeah.
He has the vision that he was in Coruscant in the Jedi Temple during Order 66 when Anakin came in and killed all the younglings.
Yeah, but we've never seen anything like that again.
We saw a quick clip of him seeing the Jedi dying and being attacked by the stormtroopers.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we haven't seen that happen.
I know, but I'm saying I think that clip of them showing the Jedi is them like we're gonna get how he got out of the Jedi Temple, and we're gonna see who helped him out to get out of the temple and how he escaped.
Oh, you show a flashback.
Yes, so I think that might be a way to bring in a character that has been rumored to appear in the crossover.
Who?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller?
Yes. He's
the Flash?
No. There's a character, Ezra Bridger, sorry. Ezra
I'm
Miller.
like, why is they gonna put a groomer in this
Yes,
show? They're
Ezra
like,
Bridger is the character from Rebels.
so confused.
Yes, Ezra Bridger is the character from Rebels.
Thank you, Ezra. Yeah,
Yes,
Ezra Miller.
sorry. Just popped in my head really quick. Because I just watched the Flash final
He's
season
grooming
trailer stuff that
Grogu.
made me think about Ezra Miller for some reason.
Grogu, I want to be your boyfriend, please.
Tell your parents to let me have permission.
Yeah, I
Me
want
and
to
Steven
abduct you.
Tyler want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
Me and Stephen Perry, I should say. So anyways, Steven Tyler, whichever. Anyways, moving on. Grogu in the Jedi Temple. I think they're gonna set up Thrawn in this.
Well, isn't Thrawn more in what's her name's
Ahsoka.
world? Yeah, Ahsoka.
But I think that we're gonna get some of him in this. Because I think they're gonna start setting up the big crossover where they all get together to go after Thrawn.
Mm.
I think Thrawn's gonna be, because they didn't show any like who the antagonist is besides Moff Gideon, who's hunting him down. And I think also what's her face from Mandalore is going to be another secondary villain because she wants the Darksaber.
Right.
Because they hinted at that in the last trailer, the teaser trailer that we got. That was more centralized on her and him talking about who controls Mandalore,
Right.
which she didn't show up in this trailer at all.
This seems like he has to redeem himself because he's been pushed out of the guild.
Exactly, which we knew already.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be multiple storylines going on in this season. Either way, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait for it to happen.
I know. Honestly, I really miss having Mandalorian around Christmas time.
Yeah,
I kind of like that first 2 seasons and how we got it right before, like after Thanksgiving, leading towards the holiday. I really liked it. But I'm not. I'm so happy it's coming back in March.
Yeah.
I like it when we get a trailer and it's coming like in a month.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So yeah, I am pumped, man. This is gonna be great. We're gonna have, for me, it's like The Last of Us, Mandalorian, and Vox Machina all happening kind of in the same time.
Yeah.
Last year we had 3 shows happening in tandem as well. We were all watching. So it's kind of nice to have some good shows to watch week to week during the cold months, you know, because it's something to look forward to when you're just stuck inside.
Well, it's great too because there's like that lull right now. There's not really anything to watch.
Well,
so
yeah, this is
actually have things to watch again.
Yeah, this is picking up. We're picking up. I mean,
I've almost exhausted the things that I want to watch on all these channels. So
I mean, I just listed off to you all the shows that I'm watching currently, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like but anyway, all great stuff. I know, Mark, you're at work, so we should end this show with our review and our season review and final of Willow season 1. If there's more to the season, I don't know.
Well, they set it up where they're setting it up like there should be a season 2 and 3. So
there might be. We don't know.
I'm assuming there's going to be. We
We
debated on this on the ride home from Scott's party, and I still stick with my theory that if Disney wants it, Disney will get it. So
yeah, but I don't disagree with you. But the streaming services want new eyeballs, and if that show is not bringing new eyeballs, that's why they won't
I
bring
don't
it
think
back.
Disney is the same as all the other streaming services.
Yes, they are. I mean, that's what it's about. There's
Plenty of stuff on Disney which isn't getting many eyeballs, and they're still putting stuff out. No one's clamoring for the Mighty Ducks show, but they've gone through 2 seasons of that.
That got canceled though.
Yeah, after 2 seasons.
There you go.
It didn't warrant another season.
So it got canceled.
Yeah.
I'm
lose
just
Gordon
saying.
Bombay. What's the point? I mean, you have no one attached to the actual story anymore.
Well, yeah. Why did he not come back for the 2nd season?
He just didn't want to do it anymore.
Well, there you go. Anyway, that's not the discussion at hand. Let's talk about Willow. Let's just talk about Willow because that's what we're talking about.
Okay. All right.
We're talking about streaming wars.
No, it's not even the streaming wars. I
Get
just think
wrong.
that
I'm
Disney is
just saying
different than other streaming
they're
services.
not though, because they've lost money. They
Well, they've
need,
always lose money. It's just I just think it's just with Disney, it's different in the fact that they produce everything that airs on their channel.
but so does Netflix. They produce the stuff
Not
that's
as
airing on the
much though.
channel,
Netflix has a lot of outside stuff that gets produced other places and then airs on Netflix.
but it costs them money.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
whereas Disney
saying?
does a lot of in-house production, more in-house production than most do. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, we don't know. We don't know. There's not been an official thing. I will be surprised if we got a season 2.
Get ready to be surprised.
Listen, I'm surprised all the time. My whole life is a walking surprise.
This is true.
Okay,
You forget half the things you did 2 seconds ago, so everything is a surprise to you.
everything's a
Goldfish.
surprise. All right, let's talk about Willow.
Yes.
We reviewed the first 3 episodes. We don't need to rehash that.
No.
We went to this journey. The crone was the big bad. They finally get to their destination in the final episode. For me, it was a tough watch. I know you liked it, and that is awesome.
I didn't say I liked it. I didn't love it.
You could like it.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I'm saying it's just I liked it. I didn't love it.
I just watched it. I did like. I don't want to be super negative. I did enjoy one episode more than the others, which was episode 6, Prisoners of Skylin. That had
Skellum.
Christian Slater in it.
Yes,
It's probably the best episode in my opinion.
that was a really good episode. Yes.
This is a show I would have bounced out after episode 2. I would have bounced out. I finished it because we wanted to talk about it on the podcast. It's not something that resonated with me much. The characters, I didn't resonate with any of them, to be honest with you, other than enjoying seeing Willow.
Yeah.
Warwick Davis, I thought was fantastic. I like him as that character. It was great to see him as that character. They have the Memberberry episodes for the people who grew up watching those movies. But I truly believe this show is meant for people under 20. It's meant for teens, preteens. It's kind of like my first fantasy show. I would put it like, if I said this before, as I was a teenager and this show came on and I was a teenager right now, I probably really would have enjoyed it more than I would as a 43-year-old man.
Yeah.
I didn't buy a lot of this stuff. It was weird that first half when they would play popular music at the end, I didn't mind it. But then as they started interweaving that popular music into the sci-fi fantasy, I was like, it threw me off a lot. And that's a me thing. But when they started playing Dire Straits at the end, it's a great guitar solo. It's like, and it worked if I took myself out of that. But a part of me is just like, my brain hurt. I'm like, wait. I like that song. It doesn't feel, it fits because I'm seeing it, but it doesn't feel right. You know, I'm like, why am I hearing this song and otherwise kind of an epic moment for the show? I felt like it was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. It took me out. It took me out of the show sometimes.
Yeah.
And I like the songs they used during the ending credits. But then when they started putting it in the show, I was just a little, it was off-putting. Just a little. It's a me thing. It didn't work. Didn't work for me as well as maybe someone else. Those are my overall thoughts. I don't really know if I would watch a season 2. I would have to be wowed by the trailer to continue on with the series. I feel like, if anything, if they are going to do a season 2, I think they should take in consideration some criticism of the first one. And I mean constructive criticism, not the people who are just shitting on it to shit on it, but people who actually watched it and said there's potential here. And I do think there's potential there.
Yeah.
But I don't feel the target audience was not me. And I totally get that. And I don't fault it for it. It's definitely for a younger generation.
A lot of false concern is what I equate the show to. Like, there's never any point where you're like worried that the characters are going to be in danger. It seems very like lackluster danger scenarios.
It was like watching a live action Scooby-Doo episodes.
Kind of,
week to week.
Yeah, like who's the villain today kind of thing.
And I'm fine with that. But
you could, and like also you could, I think also we're a tad jaded in knowing the genre more than others. So we know what it could be doing. But like you said, if it's like, if you're in the, like from probably 12 to 18 age group, maybe shorter than that, I don't know. But if you're in that age group, this would be a show that you'd be into. It's got all the different things that it's very like geared for that genre, that age range.
Yeah. I mean, at the young.
I mean, it wasn't anything like, I was nothing like against it. I was happy to see the girl from Falcon Winter Soldier get another job. I mean, she's basically playing the same character again, but
she was in Solo too.
Yeah, and now she's just playing the same thing again. She's just playing a redheaded girl, and they kind of like try to do the thing of, is she Laura Dannon? And then it was like, no, she's not Laura Dannon. It's this other blonde girl that's Laura Dannon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and there's that whole. It was just a lot of schmaltzy stuff.
I will say my least favorite part was the whole like say I love you stuff. I'm like, you guys already said you loved each other in the beginning of the show. Why do we have to keep going back to it?
I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't.
It's not why I'm watching this.
I also like watched the show, and I just don't like. It's one of those times where the relationship seems forced. Kind of like, oh, we need to have a lesbian couple in the show.
They focus
to seem like we're hip and cool. So let's, make these two fall in love with each other and just not be friends. They're more than friends. It's like, I just don't, it's like, why can't they just be friends? Why couldn't they just be like really close friends that are like sisters, kind of, and not be in love with each other in that way,
I didn't bother me. It just bothered me.
It didn't bother me. It was just like,
too long.
Yeah, it just seemed like a forced thing.
I just didn't care. It was the part of the whole show.
It seemed like a lot of that, like a lot of forced stuff.
And not a big fan. And I know a lot of streaming shows do this now. And I'm not blaming it all on Willow. But Willow, I noticed it a lot. Maybe because it's the last thing I watched like this.
Yeah.
But anytime they would get to a crescendo and they're like, something big is going to happen. Something would happen. Cut the black.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then when we come back,
it's all over.
It's all over in a couple minutes. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
I was like, every time. Come on. Can we not do this all the time?
It's unfortunately it's a sign of, we didn't have enough budget. So we're gonna just speed right through this, and it all happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it had like little parts of it that reminded me of the movie and like made me feel like, oh, we're gonna get okay, and then it goes right back to. It seemed like there was like two different writing teams in this.
Yeah.
There was a writing team that was from the original Willow movie group, and then the hip, cool
CW
writers that Disney hired to jazz up the show and make it more, like pop culture friendly. And they try to push it together to make it into one show, and it's like, this doesn't. You could just do the Willow show.
And there was some
part of it,
weird.
and not do this other parts and be a perfectly good show.
Yeah, there was some
Like
weird.
Game of Thrones had the lesbian relationships and stuff in it, and you didn't have to schmaltz it up to make it fit into your storyline. You could just make it a natural thing. It doesn't have to be like will they, won't they stuff. It's like they could just be together. It's not a big thing.
Yeah. There was actually moments in the show where they made references that are happening now, and I thought that was weird. When you meet the little people again, which was great to see.
Yes,
his daughter was, she wants to be, she just wants to work from home. Like they made fun of like influencers there or something. I'm just like, okay, that's something that is not going on in your world.
That's what I'm saying. That's the thing. It's like it seems like there was two different writing teams going on, like battling each other to see who was going to have. Like it's like, okay, you can tell your Willow story, but don't forget we got to throw in these little pop culture things so kids will watch it.
Right.
So we'll throw these things in to make the kids laugh and get the kids involved.
It killed that scene for me. I liked that scene.
Yeah.
But that dialogue, I was like, why? That should not be there. It was weird. I didn't like it. That's why I also didn't like how the pop music was starting to seep into scenes. I didn't mind it at the end credits, but then it started seeping in. I was just like,
we never really find out what happens with his wife and his son. Like we kind of hear about it, but we don't really like know what happened. It seems like that's a big thing that we should know.
Who, Willow?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're heading back now, I guess we'll find out if there's a season
I don't know.
two.
Like they kind of hinted at it and like why that Mims was the only one that survived and still around and like because he wasn't around, his wife and son were killed. It's like that's like a big part of a story of Willow's story that we should know and should have been a major thing.
Right.
The first episode should have had that in it. Like, why is Willow hiding underground with his people and everything? It was all just kind of just like washed over. Like, oh, he's not important. Let's just, we're really focusing on the girl with the short hair. Don't you know she's a lesbian because she has short hair? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Lesbians have short hair. So we get it. We know. Everyone knows there's lesbians. It's okay. We can do it. It's 2023. Everyone's fine with it. You don't have to like make a thing of it. It's just let it happen.
It shouldn't be called Willow. It shouldn't be called Friends in Willow because Willow
should be called like Mad Cap's family.
And then what's her name was just looking more and more like Rey from Star Wars. Like she was wearing the same.
Oh, Laura Dannett, yeah. She just went like the whole Daisy Ridley closet. Like they had all this stuff left over from the new Star Wars trilogy that they had. Let's reuse that outfit. We got these outfits lying around.
She's literally dressed like Rey. She's going through training.
Yeah. And they cut her like hair at the end of this show to like, and there's a whole thing with that. I don't know. There's a whole thing.
Was confused by the ending.
I tried to explain it to you.
You cleared it up for me.
Yeah.
So the ending was
because Graydon, the guy that was the bad guy or the bully from Spider-Man. Yeah, Tom Holland Spider-Man gets launched into the netherworld.
Or the upside down world or whatever.
It's the netherworld. I think it's like hell.
And then he wakes up.
He wakes up because he survives the thing. Because he was the last person to be sent there, and then the crone dies.
Yes.
But I think that they're like saying like now he's a new crone.
No, she is
over
though.
For that girl. No, I think she was the embodiment of the worm.
Okay.
I think this is my theory. She was in that scene. She's the worm, convincing him to work with her.
Gotcha.
To help take over the world.
Just like the crone was pretending to be that young girl.
Yes, to take over Eric, to convince Eric to help her take over or fight the group. Same kind of thing.
Yeah. So just Yeah.
And
it's a whole army though. Where's the
Army of the Dead kind of thing? It's like that was the thing that the original movie, the Queen was trying to bring to help her take over
the
planet or whatever, the realm or whatever it is. But yeah. So
we'll see where this goes. Now at the very end, we see books.
Yes,
we see Volume 1
on the shelf.
Volume 2, and Volume 3.
Yes, so they have 3 seasons.
I don't know. They haven't announced.
George Lucas likes 3s.
Well, George Lucas had nothing to do with this show.
He wrote the original movie.
Yes, but he had nothing to do with the
He's
show.
an executive producer on this.
Yes, because it's his property, but
Yeah.
he had nothing to do. He didn't
I'm
write
thinking,
it.
no, I'm saying I think that's the whole shtick of it is like not the shtick of it, but I think that's like it's a Lucasfilm thing. They like threes, they like trilogies.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll
So,
see where this goes.
I have a feeling we'll get 3 seasons and it'll be done.
Maybe.
They wouldn't make this show if and then put that at the end of it if they weren't going to give him a season 2 and 3. Because Disney wouldn't just be like, let's just let this happen and not say anything and just not do another season of it.
You're not wrong. I
Makes
agree
no
with
sense.
you, but a part of me is like the reception was not very good. So
It doesn't have to be.
don't
It's Disney. They've already paid for the 3 seasons already. And it's already been booked and it's probably in production. We just don't know about it.
maybe.
Because Disney and they just do things.
I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I would have to see a season 2 trailer that would wow me to come back.
Yeah.
The ending was more intriguing than the whole entire
Yeah.
show.
I think it's going to be a better, like if they were to keep when they do keep going, I think the next season will be more intense than this season was.
I will end it on a positive. I think the show was filmed and shot very well.
Yes.
I think the costumes were very well.
Yeah,
I thought
the acting was the characters themselves were good. They just weren't written well.
Yeah, because I couldn't tell you any of their character traits all seemed the same to me.
Yeah.
The jokes that what's his name made were not funny. It was just like bad.
Yeah.
Not good. Not funny at all.
He was trying too hard to be Madcap or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
There were whiffers.
But I think that's his character.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the dad guy that's like everyone thinks is funny, but it's here nor there. But let's wrap it up because it's going to be forever. Let's keep bashing this show. So
I'm not trying to bash it all. I'm trying
no,
to
I'm just saying we're just going to keep
positive.
nitpicking and finding things.
Um,
About.
For me, the whole series is a 5. I thought every episode in my opinion was a 5. One episode was a 6. The series as a whole was just a 5. Just a 5. I don't really. It was a show that I just watched.
Yeah.
It washed over me. I kind of would forget about it. I'd watch the next episode, see the recap, and be like, "Oh yeah, that happened." Rinse and repeat. Nothing impressed me a lot. I want to be impressed. I think it has a potential to being impressive, but we might not see that until a season 2 happens.
Yeah.
That is my. What is yours, Marcus?
I'll give it a 6. I only give it a 6 because I don't give it a 5 because there were parts I enjoyed. Like you talked about, Kevin Pollak returning was awesome as the Brownies. It was fun to be back in that world again, so that bumps up a point. It was nice to go. It was like a member berry show for me. It was like one of those things. It's like nice to go back to a place that I enjoyed when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. So, yeah. So I'll give it a 6.
All righty. Probably the lowest rated show we've ever watched, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine.
Well, a 5 and a 6 is middle of the road.
Yeah.
I mean, anything under a 5 is really bad.
Yeah, it was fine.
A 5 or 6 is middle of the road.
You gave which one, that Jupiter Ascending, whatever that one was.
I never watched.
That was like a 2. So
you watched that.
Yeah. So give that thing a 2. So.
All right, Marcus. Well, let's wrap up the show. We'll be back next week. We'll be taking off. We'll be back the following week.
Yes. We're taking a week for sabbatical for work stuff. So that means we'll be back with you at the end of the month.
January 30th.
For the Emmys. Grammys?
I probably won't watch the Grammys, but I'll see who the winners are the next day.
Yeah, February 5th. Yeah.
All right.
So we getting ready to go for ready to get ready for Ant-Man. And it'll be 2 more episodes into Last of Us.
Yes. It will be.
Probably need that week to recover from whatever is coming next episode. Because I'm assuming more people are going to die.
Maybe.
I don't hold up much hope for this Tess lady. I don't know anything about her. Don't know the story. But I didn't see any of the ads besides the couple that things that I saw coming up for this next couple episodes. But she hasn't been any of the big promo material. So I know she's not going to make it through the whole season. So
Everybody got a poster, so
yeah, but she was never on the cover of the video games. So I know she's not going to survive.
well, she's not a main character. So.
Yeah. I also don't think she's going to survive. So
All right. Well, we'll find out.
yeah, I could be
All
wrong,
right.
but I don't hold it hope for her. I find her annoying. I hope she dies.
All right.
See what
Well, there you go. All right. Let's wrap it up. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
We will be.
We'll be back in 2 and 2.
As always, be safe, be well, be kind.
And rewind.
Bye, everybody.